Good evening, gods, living, mortals, and dead. Tonight we are celebrating the greatest heroes, the most fearful challenges, and the scariest monsters. In a special moment, we welcome back, 20 years in the making, Odysseus. I am Athena, your host for tonight, and welcome to the Odie Awards. Broadcasting live from the Lightning Bolt Theater in Ithaca. Our program is being simulcast all over the universe, from the mountaintops of Olympus to the underworld and everywhere in between. Tonight is a homecoming, or nostros, for all of our nominees. Their loyalties and fidelities, the divine intervention that often challenged them, as well as their own personal transformation and growth. From a king who did not return home for 20 years, to a palace that had been taken over while he was gone, to an epic journey full of monsters, storms, and godly interference. The Odyssey has everything, and tonight we recognize key moments that helped enlighten generation to generation. So without further ado, let the Odies begin! Please welcome Poseidon to the stage to present our first award for the evening, Best Display of Hospitality, Xenia.
Thank you so much. Give it up for our host, Athena, for killing it. Athena, who are you wearing tonight?
Thanks for noticing. I'm wearing something from the Mentees collection, disguising myself to help Telemachus. And to all my fans out there, now let's do the award.
Xenia is one of the most important themes in the Odyssey. The principles of good hospitality, including welcoming strangers, and as treating them as old friends or family, and taking care of them, and providing assistance and support along their journey. In contrast, bad hospitality is exemplified by what I'm gonna do tonight, after the show at Odysseus' post-party show. Eating all of the catered food and drinking all the wine. Basically acting like a squatter. I'm kidding, Odysseus. You don't have to change the locks. For best hospitality, the nominees are Telemachus welcoming Athena as Mentees,
Hello, stranger. What are you doing here?
Eumaeus hosting Odysseus, Nestor welcoming Telemachus, Phaeacians helping Odysseus return home. And the Odie goes to Telemachus welcoming Athena as Mentees. Congratulations, Telemachus! Your good hospitality really shined through. You had the ultimate respect for guests, made sure they were properly fed, and shared your livelihood with them. While all the nominees were great, there isn't a more deserving recipient. With our first reward done for the night, let's go for a quick commercial break. Have trouble seeing the world? Well, that's okay. One focused eye is better than two. Spartans may fall, Trojans may rise, but even warriors need protection for their eyes. Shop for your luxury eyewear at Psychoptics, available at shops at the Royal Palace of Ithaca. We see you!
On to our second award of the evening. You saw her in this year's blockbuster, Weave Hard, where she held off the suitors for 20 years, unraveling her burial shroud each night. Now give a round of applause for Penelope.
Thank you, Athena. Some of the central themes in the Odyssey are loyalty, fidelity, and betrayal. As you all know, while Odysseus was away for over 20 years, first during the Trojan War and then after, lost at sea, my unbreakable bond to Odysseus was constantly challenged by the suitors. They occupied my home and tried to force me to marry. But throughout all these years, I remained faithful to Odysseus. I did not remarry and instead kept my faith. I knew that Odysseus would return. However, there were others who did not uphold the same virtues. Instead, they acted out of self-interest and violated the virtues of loyalty and fidelity. Tonight, we call out those who chose to betray. Here are the nominees for best or worst betrayal. Men opening bags of winds. Eurylochus convinces Odysseus' men to kill Helios' sacred cattle. The maids' betrayal by working with the suitors. The suitors taking over Odysseus' home. And the ode goes to Eurylochus, who ignored the warnings of Odysseus and the gods by eating the sacred cattle, which eventually led to the destruction of Odysseus' entire crew. Unfortunately, Eurylochus cannot be here with us tonight because he's dead. Accepting on his behalf, surprisingly, Zeus.
I'm Zeus, king of all gods. I don't attend mortal functions, especially award shows. But I'm here to give you all a stern warning. Eurylochus is dead because he violated divine law, and such violations have consequences. Odysseus gave him a clear warning not to eat Helios' cattle, and it was ignored. And while Eurylochus should have shown fidelity to Odysseus and the crew, instead, temptation and selfishness won out. I accept Eurylochus' award, not to celebrate his total betrayal, but instead to remind all of you that decisions have consequences. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Thank you for the warning, Zeus. And good timing, as our next award is dedicated to the gods. Let's welcome our next presenter, who spent many years waiting for his father, Odysseus, to return. He was scared to stand up to the suitors. He just needed a little bit of divine intervention to finally be able to stand up on his own 2 feet. Let's welcome Telemachus to present the award of Best Divine Intervention.
Growing up without a father was very challenging. I did not know how to stand up to the suitors who were trying to court my mother. But by the end of the Telemachia, with the help from the gods, I was guided on my journey to seek out news of my father's fate. In our society, we live with gods who constantly influence the world around us. There are powerful divine forces behind the unfolding of events, and why fate versus free will is an important theme throughout the Odyssey, meaning how much is ultimately decided by the gods. And where does human choice fit in? That's why we pay tribute to the gods who help us unlock something inside of ourselves. This award honors the divine beings who work behind the scenes and assist us when mortals are pressed to the limits. And the nominees for Best Divine Intervention are Hermes giving Odysseus Molly on Circe's island.
Its power alone will shield you.
Circe giving Odysseus instruction on how to get home.
But first you will raise the islands of the Sirens.
Athena turning Odysseus into an old beggar so he can make his plan of revenge without being recognized. Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada 2.
Wait, Meryl Streep?
Well, she is divine and always nominated.
Fair, I guess, Telemachus. Please announce the winner.
And the ode goes to Hermes. He's the winner because of his gift of Molly is a clear example in the Odyssey that divine intervention from the gods not only has an impact, but actually controls the fate of mortals. By giving Odysseus Molly, Odysseus was able to hold on to his identity. Otherwise, he would have been rendered completely powerless. Nobody would say that Odysseus is weak, but even the strongest male amongst us cannot prevail without assistance from the gods, who operate like the best producers and directors acting behind the scenes.
For the next award, I have the honor of presenting the award for the scariest monster. The nominees are Scylla, the 6-headed monster; Cyclops, the 1-eyed monster who traps Odysseus and his men; the Sirens, who try to lead Odysseus and his men to their deaths; and Charybdis, the giant whirlpool that swallows the whole ship. As you can see by our esteemed nominees, in the Odyssey, monsters take many forms. It's not about their physical dominance or threatening nature, but instead, they represent the challenges Odysseus and his men must overcome to get home. It's not about the monsters themselves. It's about the ability of the hero to persevere and endure in spite of them, and the characteristics needed to conquer these foes. These nominees test different aspects of Odysseus' and his crew's ability to survive. These tests include physical strength, intelligence, and the ability to make difficult life-altering decisions under hard conditions, as well as self-control in the face of lust and temptation. The monsters tell us more about the heroes who faced off against them than the monsters themselves. And the Odie goes to the Cyclops!
Before I accept this award, I want to thank all the nominees, as I was truly inspired by your terrifying work. As I share this with all of you, because we're all winners tonight, I really have one person to thank, and that is nobody. And when I say nobody, I mean Odysseus, and not actually nobody. Everyone clear on that? Listen, when I met nobody, I was simply living my best life, hanging in my man cave, and tending to my sheep. Then nobody in his crew ignored the sacred laws of hospitality and violated my home. Yet they label me the monster. And to add insult to my injury, they blinded me. Not cool, dude. But just to be honest for a second, I have an eye for talent. And I recognize Odysseus used his intelligence and cunning to defeat me. That showed with cunning strategy and intelligence can outplay and outsmart physical strength and brute force. That's it for tonight. Hit me up on Instagram at Cyclopses. Get it? Cyclopses.
Thank you, Cyclops, for your inspiring speech. Now, before the next award, let's take a moment to honor all those we have lost.
Lights will guide you home. I'll be at your bones. I will try to fix you.
And for our last award of the evening, we celebrate all the heroes of the Odyssey. As we've seen from the overarching themes of the Odyssey, heroism takes many forms. It is not just defined by physical strength, but it encapsulates perseverance and endurance, intelligence and cunning, fate versus free will, and the ability to survive under impossible circumstances. Our heroes face divine intervention, physical endangerment, actual monsters, loss, and temptation, but they continue to push forward. The deserving nominees are the following: Odysseus, Achilles, Penelope, and Telemachus. And the Odie goes to, of course, Odysseus!
Thank you for this honor. My name is Odysseus. I'm happy to be home after 20 years. Throughout my epic journey, I have traveled far, fought in the Trojan War, and survived wicked storms, sea monsters, and the fate of the gods who tested me and my men throughout our time away. You may call me a hero, but I don't consider myself a hero. I've learned throughout this journey that I am but a mere mortal. Everything I did was just to go home to Ithaca. What I learned along the way was that mortal men and women carry with them a spark, a belief that despite the fate of the gods, and we can endure and survive if we use our best tools. Sometimes that may be physical strength, but often it is more than that. Survival may depend on intelligence, and wit, cunning, and disguise. But most of all, patience and a belief in yourself. To my crew who died during this journey, I dedicate this award to the brave men who stood by me. And finally, I leave you with this. Gods may shape our life's journey, but it is our free will and own decisions that determine our fate. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Odysseus. And thank you all for attending the Odies. Tonight's show reminds us that it's not all about the destination, but the journey itself that shapes who we are. Have a wonderful evening and see you next time.